Hello, Bond fans, and welcome to this new series that I dreamt up in my laboratory. It's called A Blast from the Past. What is it exactly? Well, some of you might know I keep a digital archive going back to the filming of Tomorrow Never Dies, but it's not really complete because I started to follow the production of every Bond film with The World Is Not Enough in 1999, which they filmed in quite a small amount of time. So from, I think, February 1999 to May 1999, and the rest was used for PR and marketing. So what I did was, whenever there was a behind-the-scenes picture or a video, I downloaded it to my hard drive and started building up this digital archive. And it's funny to look at this material now, 20 years after it was thrown online for us to watch. You really get a blast to the past. So, and that's what I wanted to share with you. We're going to go through that now with pictures and videos, all in their original sizes. And what you have to understand, some of the younger Bond fans among you, the internet 20 years ago was, for most countries, I live in Germany, and certainly for us, the internet was baby steps. So we did not have a permanent connection to the internet, a fast one. I now have a 50,000 kilobyte, whatever, permanent connection, 24 hours. My computer is connected 24 hours to the internet. I just go to the desk, open Google, type something, open Amazon, and internet is there. Back in the day, 1999, when I started, my first internet provider was AOL. Not the best choice, but yeah, well, it worked. And we had a dial-up modem, 56K. I can't convert it for you because I'm not good in these things, and certainly not good in maths. But what I know is that it was a small box that had all these squeaking noises, and what it did was it actually dialed a number that got you onto the internet. And with AOL, it was always, well, like a game of dice. You could end up in the internet or not. Sometimes you were thrown out within your session or during the dial-up process, and then you had to do it again, and this box was right next to you, and it was really dialing the number first and then doing these horrible squeaky noises. And so today, my friends, you have the best internet you can possibly have. Back in the day, I mean, in the 80s it was worse, when they still had, I don't know, phones and the connection with phones. And but going back to Bond, what was important for us back then and important for a film production company was to provide people with behind the scenes pictures, behind the scenes videos, but it needed to get through the people's internet connection somehow. So everything needed to be compressed. Images were like the sizes of a stamp. And we will see that now with the first behind the scenes pictures that I have from The World Is Not Enough. Here you see the wonderful poster, the final poster, the quad that they made. And the first behind the scenes pictures are these three. They are from February 1999, when they started filming in Bilbao with Pierce Brosnan. And I got them in June 1999. So it's not that it took me that long to find these pictures, but that's when I think got my first internet and could access my first own internet that I paid for with my name. Before that, I had to use other people's internet connection if they had one. You see here the resolution's 100 by 150 pixel. Today, that would be like, I don't know, this size, just a bit bigger than a regular stamp. The one in the middle is a bit bigger, but I resized it so that you actually can see something. And you were hyped. You were automatically hyped as a Bond fan. Hey, that's Pierce Brosnan. And he's waving at, well, maybe at me, at the fans in Bilbao. Who knows? And in Bilbao, if you watch the DVD or the Blu-ray, you can actually see onlookers in the background when Bond walks towards the Swiss bank, when he crosses the street. And they just left it in because, yeah, well, today we have pictures and videos from Matera, where they filmed No Time to Die, and the Aston Martin is spinning in the historic city of Matera, and high up on the higher ground, lots of tourists, lots of fans. Well, we are there, they are there, so it happens. But in The World Is Not Enough, you can actually see them in the final film. And filming in Bilbao attracted a lot of attention. This was represented in the photos that we saw. First, it was just these 3 that I had, and then there was nothing for a week or 2, and sometimes you had 6 pictures, then you had another 3, maybe 1 week you had just 1 picture posted online, and you really had to wait for the official pictures or the media, because Bond fan websites were relatively rare or starting up. Or at least I didn't know of any that I could visit. That later changed. And here, the very, very, very first behind the scenes video that I have.
There's a certain amount of pressure, not so much for me. I mean, all I've got to do is hang on a wire. You know, it's big pressure for Mark, who's my stuntman.
We're doing this first shot without any safety underneath him.
You hear the people screaming, seeing Bond jumping out of the window. And this is 192 by 144, so that is really the size of a regular stamp. Now, when you put it on your monitor at home, that was the way these videos were when they were posted, because they needed to be compressed for people who had a dial-up connection like I had. But what I loved, even though you probably couldn't read it back in the day 20 years ago, to be continued, they may really put an effort into making these videos. Putting music to it, having several angles, having interviews with the stars on location, and the 2 big Bond websites, the 2 official Bond websites, JamesBond.com and 007.com, they were around at that time. And they weren't very basic, but they had very, very small images. It was all fixated on being compressed, on being fast loading. So they were good, and they provided us with behind the scenes pictures like these, where you really got an insight just by the picture. Sometimes there was a bit of text next to it, but certainly they had more pictures on a more frequent basis than we have today. So if you look at these wonderful insights, that now that we know the film inside out, us Bond nerds, you think, wow, a model of a pipeline. Well, of course they used a model for that. Some people still think they used a real pipeline, but it was a model. Camera helicopter, still used today. The model of the submarine, which is now in a harbour somewhere in Britain. I always forget the original location, but you can actually visit it. The model is there. The balloon of the cigar girl, Pierce Brosnan shooting his way through the bunker, and German actor Claude Oliver Rudolph as Colonel Akakievich. These are great behind the scenes pictures, and you were glued to your monitor and opened up JamesBond.com every morning. I did it before going to school. I did it when I came home from school. I think it was my last year of school. And before homework, the first thing that I did was dial up to the internet, go to JamesBond.com and see if they posted some new behind the scenes pictures. And there were a lot during the course of filming. And as I said, February to May, the course of filming was relatively short, so they put out a lot to keep fans interested. And that was what I really liked. Today, with social media and everything, we know No Time to Die. Cary Fukunaga is posting a lot of pictures which can be considered as official set pictures, but otherwise is certainly not as much as 20 years ago. I mean, look at these. Special effects designer John Steers with his model work. What a great guy. He did so many amazing models and such great model work. And these films still hold up today in model. I mean, you see a lot on the Blu-rays and certainly in 4K, but it worked back in the day. Sophie Marceau as Electra King, together with Pierce Brosnan, filming in Chamonix, then filming at Electra's Villa. John Theroux, I think that was his name, John Theroux, as the baddie, bodyguard of Electra King, and some filming of the Thames. These were considerably bigger than the first photos that I had, so they were not 100 by 150, they were a bit bigger, but still relatively small compared to what you have today. Pierce Brosnan and Big Armstrong, looking at what they filmed, the stunt work that they filmed. Some explosions, and fans are always happy to see that. Explosions, yeah, better if it's a moving picture. The Q-Boat, great stuff. I really love it. And the Parahawks, which was filmed in Chamonix. So they had behind-the-scenes pictures from pretty much every location they filmed in, and a lot of Pinewood material, a lot of model pictures, and a lot of costume pictures as well. Basically, the full Monty. And then the teaser poster dropped. It had a size of 436 by 600, which wasn't that big. It was about, I don't know, like that if you print it today. And it was glorious. Bond's silhouette with a new P99 that he starts to use in Tomorrow Never Dies, and the fiery woman with some random gun. It was really, really, really well done, and I loved it. I ordered it as a big print, and it was the first Bond poster I actually hung on my living room wall. And later, the official poster was right next to it. I have taken down all the Bond posters because they're incredibly large, and I'm rather for other pictures of family and friends. So, but back in the day, everything in my room was plastered with Bond. I will show you in another episode of Blast from the Past how my apartment looked like in the high Bond time of the Brosnan era. So after the teaser poster was released, everybody was glued to the screen when they released the teaser trailer. I don't exactly know on what day it was released, and I didn't find the date online. My file date says 19th of July 1999. This might be the day the teaser trailer dropped. It might not be. But this, what you see here now on the left, is the original resolution in 480 by 256. The original compressed version, as I downloaded it as a QuickTime file. So let's have a look at that. It was incredibly exciting. Just seeing the green screen with the white lettering. Such a great thing, really. And still today,
some men want to rule the world. Some women ask for the world. Some believe the world is theirs for the taking.
Oh yeah.
But for one man, the world is not enough.
Who are you?
First things first.
The world is not enough.
I think it will be the same today as it was 20 years ago, but I could replay that right now, but I won't, because it's on the Blu-ray, you can watch it in your own time. But certainly on that day I remember it very well. I replayed it every couple of minutes, and I watched it before I went to bed, I watched it the next morning before I went to school. It was such an incredible teaser trailer, so well done with the animation at the beginning and this powerful, usual trailer voiceover that trailers had at that time. I don't even know if that still exists. Some trailers, I think, still have it, but it's not so common anymore. Trailers are just done in another way. The teaser trailer had a lot of scenes that were not in the final film, like the boat of the cigar girl shooting the mortars at Bond's Q-boat. I would have loved to see that in the film. I have a behind the scenes of that, David Williams' great video View to a Boat Chase. But yeah, the teaser trailer got you properly hyped, and some fans really started to get active and do their own fan artwork, like this one. The file date says 17th of April 1999. I don't really know who did it. It might have been part of one of the most famous websites around at that time about Bond and the filming of The World Is Not Enough, which I'm going to come to later. But yeah, fans started to get really active, design their own posters. And that's what I love. People becoming creative and thinking and putting stuff together. And you can see from the image quality, this is the original size of the image. We have evolved so much. This was probably done in Paint. And what did we have at that time? We didn't have Windows 10, not 7, not 8, not XP. Almost used German there. We had Windows 95 or 98. Some were still on 95. I was on Windows 98, I think, because I kept with technology on a regular basis. But still, your options of creating images or altering images were severely limited. Photoshop? No, I didn't have Photoshop. I didn't have any graphics software suite whatsoever, no video editing software suite, nothing. What we did, we played games, we were gamers, we started adventure gaming and stuff, and this, I couldn't do my own fan work back in the day. It was impossible. So I think people must have done it with Paint, but they were pretty advanced because they were layers. So here, with that image, you see the gun barrel in the background, Brosnan in the foreground, the girl behind him, might be Sophie Marceau, could be a picture of Sophie Marceau, and the font, all on layers. So nothing is overlapping in a wrong way. It's all correct. It looks good. So somebody really made an effort there. Somebody tried to make an effort here. And if you're watching today, 20 years later, and you did this picture, still kudos to you that you did fan artwork. Oh, but it's a bit... This is really 90s. But, well, I downloaded it just for the fun of it, just to have it in the archive. 17th of June, 1999. They were right in the middle of filming, almost at the end. No, they were finished filming. I said May, so wow. What do we have here? These were some of the better ones. Actually, there is a copyright by V. Well, V, if you're watching. And the one on the right, actually using the font of Tomorrow Never Dies. So that must have been an earlier one. But it had an image of Denise Richards. And they were pretty advanced for 1999. Really, really, really good fan artwork. And today it has all gone a lot more professional and better, but you still see some shitty fan artwork around of people who think, oh, I really have something there, but sometimes you think they're still on Microsoft Paint or something. Don't want to bash anyone, but these ones are certainly great. That's why I kept them. And this set of fan artwork, very classy, very stylish, very elegant. This belonged to the website that I followed every day, Bond is Back .com. And there was a discussion on the MI6 community website a couple of years ago. I don't know if it's years, but I read it. And Marcus Concev, James Bond Brazil, he asked the question if bondisback.com, at the time of The World Is Not Enough, and later Die Another Day, where it was bond20.com, was actually the first version of the MI6 website. And the answer was, it wasn't. It was somebody else who did bondisback.com, and whoever did it, if you're seeing this 20 years later, shoot me a message. I would really congratulate you on guiding me through the filming of The World Is Not Enough, because I visited the site daily and there was really something new and such a great design, minimalistic. Often the site went through a lot of changes, but I'll show you. This was the website, and I got that from the Wayback Machine that you can visit online. You can type in any website and see how it looked on a particular date in history. So this was, I think, March 2000 or something. And you can see at the very bottom here, it wasn't even updated anymore. Last update was November 1999, just when the film came out. And they had their reviews saying global greatness. And look at the top banner there. I mean, they really made an effort to make their website look great. And they had good categories, multimedia, a database where you could look at actors and what they have done in their life. And every picture was a looker. So that was really good. And every week they had new featured articles. Just a fantastic website that I spent a lot of time on. And the theatrical poster was released, I think, around July or August, or even later in 1999. I don't have the exact date, I don't know. But this is the theatrical poster in its preview release. Meaning that this was sort of like a first draft that they put out. It was actually printed, but they later changed it and just inverted the picture and had a slightly different picture of Pierce Brosnan. So, I'm sorry. So this one became the final version of the theatrical poster. Going back, you see it's just inverted and uses a different picture of Brosnan. Here is the preview release again. Marceau and Richards are just inverted. And the colors are a bit, well, lighter. Obviously, I had to put in also the German version, which I was looking for. I was always a fluent English speaker, so I could digest everything in the English language, but for collection reasons, completionist reasons, I had to get the German version as well. I also have the French poster and I think the Spanish poster. That's why I know the film titles in their respective languages, but I'm not going to say them now, not to offend the French or the Spanish. And shortly after the poster was the moment every Bond fan was waiting for. All across the globe, it's a wonder that the internet didn't break. The theatrical trailer. My file date says 24th of September 1999. Again, I don't know if this is the original date the trailer dropped or if it's just the date I downloaded it. It had a resolution of 480 by 248, which isn't that big. So this is the original resolution you're seeing here. I didn't resize it, and it's also the original file that I downloaded, so you have the original sound. On the Blu-ray, you of course have the teaser trailer and the theatrical trailer in newly transferred versions for the DVD and the Blu-ray, so they have a much better quality. But if I'm doing a series like Blast from the Past, well, I use the original video, of course. I have worse videos behind the scenes where you can't understand a single thing, but this is reliving the moment of when the theatrical trailer dropped. I was, well, a teenager at that time. Some of us who are a bit older, for them, they have seen much more trailers, and But I think what we share universally is that everybody who watched this trailer of The World Is Not Enough did it maybe on the same day or the day after, and they watched it again and again and again and again, because this was really a fantastic trailer. And well, here it is, the original one.
As the countdown begins to the 21st century, it's good to know there is still one number you can always count on.
Bond.
Bond.
Can't you just say hello like a normal person?
Goosebumps.
Bernard
Immediately.
is behind this. He will die along with everyone in the city.
We do not negotiate with terrorists.
His only goal is chaos.
I sent 009 to kill Reynard. He put a bullet in his head. The bullet's still there.
He feels no pain. He can push himself harder, longer than any normal man.
No hard feelings, Mr. Bond.
It appears that you are being beaten.
Don't make this personal.
I can't do that.
I just can't help thinking I'm next.
New model?
The very latest in interception countermeasures and 6 beverage cup holders. I've always tried to teach you 2 things. First, never let them see you bleed.
And the second?
Always have an escape plan.
For the world's greatest secret agent.
You confused hundreds of these, right?
When the stakes are high
Yeah, but they're usually standing still.
Life's full of small challenges.
and the danger hits too close to home,
He has M. By noon tomorrow, you'll feel nothing at all.
I thought it was your job to protect me.
it's not just professional,
Someone's tampered with the bomb!
it's personal.
I have to get it back, or somebody's gonna have my butt.
First things first. I'm gonna find him.
Who's afraid now, Mr. Bond?
I will not miss. I never miss.
Do you want to put that in English for those of us who don't speak spy?
Why am I suddenly worried I'm not carrying enough insurance?
Your time is up.
The world is not enough.
Isn't that a blast to the past? Really, I loved this trailer so much from the moment it dropped and the days after that. And I watched it again and again and again. It is so brilliantly cut. It has an intro, it has a main part, it has an ending, and they produced it with really great care so that they have a great looking trailer to hype up the fans for what was about to come. For me, it was one of the most explosive Bond films that I have seen since GoldenEye. As I started with GoldenEye, this was the 3rd film. So, although I had seen all the other Bonds on VHS, still, this was, at that time, the biggest one. And when you go from there on, GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, everything after that will be even bigger. And that's what they tell you. The next Bond film will be bigger and better and more beautiful and more expensive and more explosions. And, well, it has evolved from that. Every film has become bigger, better, whatever. But seeing this trailer again, I know that when I saw it in the cinema, I remembered the trailer. And I thought, yeah, it promised exactly what I got. I got 2 hours of solid action, a great Bond film. Later, when you rewatch it and you start analyzing it, yes, some things are off, but think back on the moments when you saw that film in the cinema. Were you impressed, or were you already starting to analyze it and seeing what is wrong with the film? Or was that the second viewing? So I had this experience and this experience. With the later Daniel Craig films, I was, with Spectre, I was actually dissatisfied in the first viewing, but I didn't analyze it. I analyzed it in a second viewing. Okay, but that's not a blast from the past, 2015. Shortly after the theatrical trailer, we got an international trailer, which was a lot smaller. It was 320 by 240 pixels. Where I thought, okay, how international is that? It had a few changes, but still was really nice to look at. And then you think, wow, they're dropping trailer after trailer after trailer. Teaser, theatrical, international. So we had 3 trailers and a lot of TV spots in between, and smaller spots that actually had property of MGM written in them. Believe it or not, I still have them. So here we go, the international trailer.
This is an emergency situation.
The world's most wanted terrorist has a new target.
One pipeline to supply our reserves for the next century.
He has everything to gain.
By noon tomorrow, your time is up.
And nothing to lose. So who in the world can stop him?
Who are you?
James Bond. James Bond.
Can't you just say hello like a normal person?
Bernard is behind this.
I sent 009 to kill Reynard. He put a bullet in his head. Bullet's still there.
Feels no pain. He can push himself harder than any normal man.
Yes, well, we'll see about that. Don't I get some kind of protection?
If you need any protection at all, it's from me.
The very latest in interception countermeasures, titanium armor, and 6 beverage cup holders.
Now, without any further interruptions, let's proceed.
Emma told me she was sending someone.
Because it was your job to protect me.
First things first.
You don't take no for an answer, do you?
The lecturer will be the next target.
I'm next.
Where is she?
Can track the signal. Someone's tampered with the bomb!
You will die along with everyone in the city. And I guarantee you, I will not miss.
I never miss.
So, if you thought the theatrical trailer blew you off your seat, well, the international trailer certainly did that double. So many things happening in this trailer, so many bits and pieces, and some dialogue overlays of the video, custom-made animations, introduction, and the 007 logo swirling, and you go through the gun barrel. I mean, how ingenious is that? And this is certainly what's missing today. The trailers of the Bond films have certainly lost that quality of ingenuity. In the Brosnan era, they were a lot more gripping, and you had like, whoa, wow, what's coming to the cinema there, and everything's flying apart, and he's shooting here and he's shooting there, and there's a beautiful girl, and wah, bah, 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 boom, everything, just total overflow of everything. And right when you were finished with watching that international trailer, you watch it right again. Not too often, because the quality was really a bit. And this is the only thing, the only trailer I haven't seen in a better quality. It's not on the DVD and not on the Blu-ray, I think. But this is a splendid trailer, extending the original trailer by a lot. And I would really love to see it on the big screen, but not in this quality. No, thank you. Another batch of behind-the-scenes pictures, this time with the 007.com logo in them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember if JamesBond.com and 007.com coexisted and later merged into what is now 007.com. I really don't know. I forgot. But certainly they put out a lot of pictures. So they kept with their posting habits from the beginning of filming. The pictures grew a bit larger. There was more to see. And these ones are great. Well, I wish we would have some of them today. I mean, the cigar girl, Pierce Brosnan always being happy. So this is not just behind the scenes. This is capturing the mood of that film being made. And from what I gathered, this was always a happy shoot with Pierce Brosnan and the entire crew. And pictures like that I have seen some of them, like the model of the MI6 building. I've seen that in the Designing 007 exhibition that was traveling the globe. But some of them have become really, really rare and hard to find. And that's why I keep a digital archive. When they appear online, I download them. I can sort them later. But first of all, everything has to be downloaded. I think I once said to a friend who had a look at this archive, he told me there's so much, even images smaller than a stamp. Why do you collect all of that? I say, well, you never know when you need it, and you have a record of what happened. And at some point, some pictures become rare, and then I might have it. Often I get asked if I have a certain picture of a cast member in a particular scene, like the one you saw earlier, Claude Oliver Rudolph. People need that for autographs if they meet these people. And some of my friends call me first and say, do you have a picture of so-and-so? And I say, oh, well, probably. Let me have a look in the archive. So I look it up. And sometimes, well, if they're really that small, they're not useful for an autograph. But it happens. And today we have the technology to actually blow these pictures up. Not blow the people up, to blow the pictures up. And with very good results. So keeping a digital archive for me, I once said to a friend, if the world was actually flat, I would have probably written data on it. And today you have external hard drives, but when I started having a digital archive, you have to imagine we had floppy disks back in the day with maybe, what did they have? 1.5 megabyte up to 7 megabytes. I don't really know. That is the size of one quality camera picture today. So you could put one picture on a floppy disk. Modern computers, mine, they don't even have floppy drives anymore because nobody uses that anymore. That time's over. Then came the CD. We burned everything on a CD. So I could maybe put 100 pictures from the filming of The World Is Not Enough or Die Another Day on one CD. And maybe a trailer. That's it. CD is full. We started with 650 megabytes, then 700 megabytes. Then came the DVD. And I had a stack of CDs and DVDs where it says James Bond Video Archive, James Bond Image Archive, and today all of this is on a hard drive just called MI6 Archive. And there's everything. There's the music, there's the films, the pictures, all of them. At one point I can give you a count, but it's a lot. And the video archive of all the little clips that I collected over the years, over 20 years. 21 years, 22 years. If you count Tomorrow Never Dies. And this is fun because whenever I need to look something up, it's there. And I can do this wonderful series for you. So this was episode 1 with a look back at The World Is Not Enough. Really great fun to put this together and to relive this past. Hope to see you next time. I'm Benjamin Lind, editor of the Bond Bulletin. Subscribe if you want. Have a great day. Bye-bye.